Hi, welcome. My name's Kieran of the One Zen Academy. Hope this finds you well. I'm about to go through the stress response within the body, or how the nervous system and how the endocrine system, which are your hormones, deal with a stressful event. This may explain certain behaviours that we have thereafter. I go through this in a lot more detail on my one-day workshop called Health Performance. So go to my website www.onezenacademy.com for more information on up and coming dates. But nevertheless, when we receive a stressful news or we experience a stressful situation, and when I say stressful, I mean like a threat type situation, something that causes a distinct fight, boxing, or flight response. This could be for numerous reasons. This could be my perception. I may go to a job I don't like, working with people I don't like. I may be running late for work. I may drink an excess caffeine. I may not have slept the night before. Okay, we can get this accumulation of stress that builds up. So imagine stress should be a thing like a light switch. It should switch on, allow us to do what we need to do, but ultimately switch off. Now, what we do in the 21st century, unfortunately, is more like a dimmer switch. So we don't sleep well the night before, so the dimmer switch goes on a little bit, the light bulb comes on. We running late for work, so that dimmer switch comes on a little bit more. We go to work in a job we really hate, the dimmer switch comes on more. We don't eat the right sorts of foods that we should be eating, dimmer switch goes on, and so on and so on. And we get this overflow effect where we feel sometimes overwhelmed. It's never just one thing, it's normally an accumulation of things. So how does the body respond, and why is this important to me? So we have this hypothalamus, anterior pituitary and adrenal cortex situation. We call it HPA axis. So imagine like you work for a company and the big boss says it wants something done, it feeds it down to middle management, and then the middle management feeds it down to the front staff and says, you should do this, it's your problem. That's pretty much how companies work, right? So the hypothalamus, which has a lot of other things that it needs to do, tells the anterior pituitary gland to activate the adrenal cortex. Now the adrenal glands are at the top of your kidneys, all the way down here. And the adrenal gland release adrenaline, makes your heart pump faster, your breathing rate increases, allows you that state of readiness. It also releases cortisol, and cortisol basically frees up circulating blood sugar, so you've got a constant state of energy. It also suppresses pain and inflammation, because we haven't got time for that. So it allows us to keep going. It also stimulates a hormone called aldosterone, which supports our blood pressure. And it supports our blood pressure by regulating sodium and potassium in and out of the blood vessel. But that's for a different time. So it does this, and if it's short burst, brilliant. It's done in a flash and we go back to normal. But if we have that dimmer switch approach, this is always simmering on. Okay, so cortisol gets excessively released. We have this part of our brain, a small part of our brain called the amygdala, which basically regulates emotional responses. So we overstimulate our emotional type response. It suppresses the hippocampus, which is like a campus. It's involved in long-term memory and spatial awareness. And it suppresses that. So we have trouble remembering things or getting new memories into the system. Okay, so short-term, cortisol actually accelerates this. Long-term, it depresses it. Long-term, i.e. months and years, it atrophies, so it becomes smaller. So then our long-term ability to actually bring on new ideas, our long-term ability to regulate memories becomes diminished, and we'll often be forgetful or can't quite concentrate. If I can't take on new ideas, it means I'll default to old ideas and old habits, like, oh, why did I just eat that? So you'll find this feeds into that mechanism. The cortisol and the amygdala actually then down-regulate my prefrontal cortex, which, if you want to know what it does, that's responsible for my logical and rational thought process. So I become, by default, unreasonable and not very logical. So you'll find that these sorts of people will catastrophize things. So it could be a case of, I've misplaced my car key. It's not a case of, has anyone seen my car keys? It's, where are my car keys? Come on, I need them quick. And you blow things out of proportion. And you'll find this a lot. You'll see it in social media. You'll see people kind of on social media saying, my boyfriend did this, or my sister did that, and so on and so on. It's like, wow, why do you need to tell the world that? And it's that catastrophizing. They're going through a chronic stress response, and they may not have the awareness that they're doing it, or it may be the mentality of trying to vent and regulate this. Who knows, really? But nevertheless, there is a stress response happening over a period of time. So that's what happens there, unfortunately. Now, how do I know if I'm going through that chronic stress response? Well, the hypothalamus back here may tell us a bit more. So the hypothalamus regulates body temperature. So you may find that if you're going through a stress response, your body temperature will fluctuate, either too hot or running too cold. Like in a mild day, you can't reach for your hoodie, put your hoodie on, hood up, and you think, I'm a bit chilly today. That may be a first sign and symptom. Okay, things like appetite. I'm either excessively hungry or I'm just not hungry at all. We go from those extremes. There's definitely a stress response that's happening. Sexual behaviour. Your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, offer you up sex, and you go, nah, not tonight. Not tonight. Okay, that might be an indication of a stress response happening, not on its own, but in relation to other things. Lack of sleep, or I have trouble going to sleep, or when I'm asleep I can't stay asleep. This is a stress response that's happening within the body. Or hunger and thirst. People very rarely know how to tell the difference between hunger and thirst. And I often say to people, if you're feeling hungry, have some water, thirst, and give it 20, 30 minutes. If you're still hungry, it probably is food, but the water didn't cost you any calories, so you move on. So it regulates those things, so there may be indicators there. On from that, and again, we're looking at the chronic stress, okay, reproduction may be an issue, okay, reproductive organs may be an issue, okay, so you may find that things like testosterone in males starts to plummet because it's making way for excessive cortisol. Okay, you may find estrogen in females starts to plummet because it's making way for excessive cortisol levels. So you may find in females the obvious sign is periods, or the menstrual cycle stops. Okay, the regular cycle of the body just goes no, because we need to have the energy for that stress. You may find that the thyroid gets down regulated, and your thyroid controls your metabolism as a whole. So you may find that gets down regulated, and you may find you hear things like this: "So I'm eating the same foods, but I'm putting on weight." Okay, your personal trainer, if you have a trainer, may think, "Oh, you're lying." But it may be a case of there's something wrong with your thyroid. Your thyroid actually controls calcium levels as well. We need calcium for bones and muscle contraction. Okay, so this ties in to the more physiological processes. So you may find that all of these take a hit. Okay, you may find that blood pressure fluctuates drastically as well, and you may find you're excessively thirsty or you're not thirsty at all. But you may find that all these cycles, and that's what they are, become out of sync. Your brain function will diminish, your cognitive response will diminish, and you'll find that you just have no energy at all. These are the chronic stress responses, and there's far-reaching consequences long-term of undergoing chronic stress. What do we do about it? Well, that's easier said than done, but it's not just one thing, it's a big picture approach. It's how we perceive things and how we treat our mind. Do I have time for myself, or am I just giving constantly to others? Am I eating the right foods, or am I eating junk fast food with no nutritional basis? Am I getting outside enough, or am I just confined inside? That's not a human norm. Okay? Am I moving enough? Have I got enough movement variance? Okay? Is my gut health okay? Have I got the right amount of bacteria? There should be 4,000 odd bacteria in that. Okay, that allow me to manage my immune system. It is 80% of your immune system. Am I suffering from frequent colds and illnesses and so on? Is my mental health taking the back seat? Okay, all of these things are the big picture stuff, and this is what we look at in the workshop. These are really important things that we need to address and look at now. We know that mental ill health within the UK is becoming a big issue. We know 1 in 6 people currently has a mental ill health issue every week, and 1 in 5 people currently think about ending their lives. Okay, this is a big issue, but it has far-reaching consequences. It is the mind and body for the 21st century. Okay. Thank you for listening. If you're interested in the workshop, please go to my website, onezenacademy.com. My name's Kieran, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.